Thanks for staying with us this evening. Vincent Kompany will lead his Burnley side to face his former boss, Pep Guardiola, in the EPL 2023-2024 opener. Many have made predictions, and we'll be bringing all of that to you. We want to start with the massive spending that has taken place so far in the transfer window as the teams actually prepare for battle. Of course, there are some Ghanaians in the EPL, and we'll talk about them as well. In studio with me, I have two experts, I should call them, Daniel Cranting with Joy Sports and Isaac Ofieje with our data and research desk, joining us to look at the season ahead. A lot of excitement. I see so many players here. Someone says, but Saudi is trying to take the shine out of the whole game. So why should we be concerned about this season, Daniel?
The Premier League is the most exciting league in the world. It's not just about the individuals who make up the league. It's the storylines that it consistently draws every single season. And we are obviously going to see another very interesting season ahead of us. And the brilliant thing about the league is that in as much as, yes, one might say Manchester City have bossed it in the past few years, there are still teams in and around that title race almost every single season. For the past last season, we saw Arsenal. For the past, 4 or 5 seasons, we've seen Liverpool and Man City go head-to-head. And we know that teams are also getting better. The likes of Manchester United are also in there. Newcastle, with the Saudi money, funny enough, are also trying to stake a claim. So Chelsea, it's a Chelsea, yes. I don't mean it, but because you say it.
You have some
and you have the Arsenal fans also coming through and making a statement for them. So many predictions. But Kofi, what's your expectation really going into the season? Just before we get to the predictions, some of the analysis you've been doing on the side as well.
Of course, I bleed blue, so I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm actually anticipating that Manchester United will win, although I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm tipping Man U to win this year's Premier League. I have my own reasons for tipping Man U to win. But of course, we've also been looking at the data, and you asked why the Premier League is catching all of this attention. Is because of the massive branding and expenditure in this, I'll call it a franchise or a product. Where this season, for instance, you have on average a team spending close to £70 million. That's not small money. So the average spending this year is £70 million. You have teams bringing in on average 5 players, and out is around 13 players. And we've been doing some small analysis, looking at the teams spending so much, the disclosed amount. If you look at Arsenal, for instance, they are leading with spending close to £208 million. That's the disclosed amount, followed by Chelsea, £186 million. There's also Manchester United, the team that I'm predicting or tipping to win this year's EPL. £179 million. Chelsea, of course, are also there spending so much. There's Newcastle and Manchester United.
But Daniel, why the clamor for new players and this hike in expenditure? Why are we seeing this?
Look, you can't go into the same season how you finished off. Obviously, everybody wants to improve. And if you want to improve, you have to go out and get quality. And quality is expensive. So that's exactly what we are saying. Now, the interesting thing is also that if you go back to the why the Premier League teams tend to have this financial muscle, you can go back into the TV deal, which is equally spread around and is making teams very financially strong. Because you go back to what Kufu was talking about, you look at the average spending of a team like West Ham or a Brentford, and it is almost comparable to some of the big teams in other leagues. It just shows you how strong these Premier League teams are financially, and it increases.
And how is that going to trickle down to the league itself and the quality of games that we're likely to see?
It's mathematics. So if quality is spread around equally and everybody is boosting the level of their team in terms of quality, then you expect that the general quality of the game will also increase. And it's just as simple as that. There are a lot of top quality players and managers in the Premier League.
Isaac?
Well, I mean, our government is, also trying to cash in from this, Premier League. I was
just about to come to that in as much as you're about to do some predictions here, those who would be betting must be aware of the same thing that you're talking about.
Of course, there is what we call the 10% withholding tax. which is starting somewhere, I think 15th August. And
but were they timing the league like as
because
just waiting for everything to happen?
This is the peak period where we are starting the league fresh. Everybody wants to try something new, and governments also want to cash in, and then so the success of the league will also depend on the revenue that governments will get based on this withholding tax that they are trying to place on.
Okay, so let's break the tax issue down and then we'll look at the predictions, because I'm sure Daniel has an interesting view. You also have yours. You say your bet is on Manchester United. I'll put $1 million on it, but we'll talk about that later.
Tell you the odds there.
Anyway, so let's get to the 10%, the impact on the betting that one would do. So if I perhaps stake 100 CDs, what will be the percentage after I win? Or, I mean, how is it going to be?
So the withholding tax will be on the amount that you staked with, I guess. So let's say you bet with 100 CDs, and then let's say you win, let's say 1,000 CDs. The withholding tax will be applied on that 1,000 CDs. I think less the 100 CDs, because the 100 CDs will be the main. So it's more or less like a value-added tax.
Right.
So you went in there with 100 CDs,
mm-hmm.
Now you have 900 CDs. So exactly, so the tax will be applied on that 900 CDs. So that will be the withholding tax. So governments will actually be praying and hoping that people win more bets this season so that they can have.
So we need more sophisticated.
Yeah. We need revenue. Now that Bank of Ghana is making losses, we need revenue. The finance ministry needs revenue because they can't go to the Bank of Ghana to borrow since they are doing 0% finance.
So 10%.
10%.
Okay. Now to the game itself and what we're likely to see. Daniel, your bet is on?
Arsenal.
Oh, Arsenal. Okay, so that's good. What's unique about the team this season?
I just feel like they've been on this journey. If you look at the past, 2-3 seasons, they came from first season under Arteta, they were 8th, then they were 8th in the second, then they finished 5th. And it was the season they finished 5th, that was like the defining moment for them. They were very close to breaking into the top 4. And they slipped out in the last minute. Then from there, people question their mentality, people question as to whether they'll be able to even fight for a top 4 place. And they did even better by challenging for the title last season, where they just missed out. And if you look at the nitty-gritties of what caused that title collapse, you can put it down on lack of options. Because you look at Manchester City, on the other hand, who beat them, they have probably bad this season in terms of strength in depth. They have a top-quality team, top-quality players who they can call on at any particular moment to change things for them. Arsenal didn't have that. But this time around, Arsenal have gone into the market. They've brought in some quality players. And the squad just looks ready. Ready in terms of personnel, ready in terms of mentality and what they've gone through. I just believe this is a time for them.
No other team?
Yeah, Manchester City will obviously be there. But again, I'm tipping Arsenal again also because Man City have won the treble last season. They've done probably the greatest achievement that any team could do. And it will be very difficult for them to replicate it again this season. That's why I feel they will just fall short.
Okay, here you go. You still have Manchester United in there. So that's quite good news to some of us.
Yeah, I think Man United will finish in 3rd. I don't think they'll challenge the top 2, but they'll be comfortable.
Well, I have a problem with his set position. Okay, I feel that Daniel cannot put Chelsea at set. Looking at the investments we've done.
Well, I think he's been gracious to Chelsea. I guess.
I actually have.
Okay, why are you saying that, by the way? And I'll come to you, Isaac. Why are you of the opinion that in spite of the workings by Isaac, you still believe...
For a team that has spent close to £200 million this transfer window alone, a team that has spent over £600 million in the last season, if you look at the individual quality players that they have, it's a very skeletal squad. It's so lean, and one injury can just wreck everything. In fact, their star forward in Nkuku is already out for 4 months, and that just puts their entire attacking, the focus on it just makes it, totally destroys their plans for the coming season. And it's extremely difficult to see how this Chelsea team is going to be able to get past the likes of the Man U's and the Arsenals. And you see, football, you can't look at teams in isolation. You have to look at it and compare it to what others are doing. And that's just how I see it. And again, football is not about hope, it's science. And if you look at the science, I've been gracious with that expedition.
Isaac would disagree with you on that.
Well, that's a significant dip there. I feel that Chelsea can move from just 12th to either 3rd or 4th will actually qualify for top 4 this season based on the investments that we've done and the kind of quality that I sit here and see. We are still.
You notice he said we.
exactly, because you know I belong to this team and I love this team, and I'm predicting that Chelsea will finish 4th at least, and Manchester United will finish 1st. Man City probably 2nd.
But what's unique is that as much as you disagree about Chelsea's position, they're still not winning the league. You don't think they can?
No, I don't think Chelsea can win, but anything can happen. This is football, you know. We were all tipping Liverpool or another team to win last year's, you know, EPL, but Manchester City went ahead. They had the strength, the muscle to do that, but we thought that Liverpool was going to do better, and then there were injuries.
What's more serious is that Liverpool is not. That's even a
yes. I'm not tipping Liverpool to be in because I feel that Liverpool will be new to Europa League. They'll do more of Thursday night travels. It's going to affect them already. They have defenders who are injury prone. So Thursday night football plus other, factors going to affect Liverpool. And I am predicting that they will finish somewhere around 7th.
Why this arrangement, and why would you say that Manchester, which featured 3rd, or actually on that of Daniel, would now move all the way to the top? I mean, what calculation are you putting?
Well, I actually see Manchester United when Ten Hag came in. There was some sort of quality brought into the team, and now I see the character. I see the edge, the anger to fight for more. They've done some massive signings and also gotten rid of some deadwoods in the team. They look very dangerous, although people say their preseason hasn't really gone as planned. But I still feel that the likes of Mason Mount and then other players that they brought in, they've spent wisely. And then I feel that Manchester United, with this a fantastic coach in Ten Hag, can finish first.
But then Arsenal fans will definitely disagree with you on that. They feel that even if Manchester United should be on this, they should be very far away, I guess. So as compared to yours, where you're saying they're number 1, they are number 5 on the predictions for an Arsenal fan, such as Fred Smith, the producer of the polls here.
Well, so they are going to this season without an out-and-out striker. I mean, they have injury on their hands. Jesus is not around. I feel if he was present to start the season, that would have been very significant. Mind you, EPL, you do not let go of any chance to build on points. So if you start and you do not start well, that's going to affect the entire season.
But a sharp difference from where they are. Arsenal on top, Manchester United on this list, number 5.
Yeah, I
but it's closer to what Daniel thinks about Manchester United.
Well, I see different things.
Daniel, you don't believe in Arsenal too?
No, I think Arsenal win, and that's what I went for. It's just the positions of Newcastle and Manchester United, I think, will switch up. Because Newcastle also are quite new to Champions League football. I don't think they have the squad large enough to be able to take them through the entirety of the season. And they don't have the manager who is experienced enough to balance those two competitions. That's why I feel they'll fall short.
Okay, but I see Newcastle featuring on your list, his list, and that of Fred.
Yeah.
What's unique about the club?
I don't know if Daniel start, but I feel Newcastle, they are very strong. They've brought in, good players. They've strengthened their midfield. Yeah. And also, they've also signed players who have experience in the Premier League. So I feel that Newcastle, although they have not really done the rebuild like we all expect, come in with money and buy quality, star players and all of that, they seem to have their own projects in mind where they have their own definition of quality and players that they want to be in their team. And I feel that they're qualifying for UEFA or European League. As Daniel said, this will be their first time. Their manager, I don't think, has any experience in the UCL, so they will be affected, but they will still be very strong.
In fact, Daniel, some people believe so much in Newcastle that you find the likes of Fentel also going for Newcastle, and not even just in the top 3, but they want Newcastle to win the league itself. That's the prediction from French.
It's a very wild prediction, if you ask me.
But it could happen.
The same way Ghana can win a World Cup. But look, I just feel it's you have to look at this very critically. And what Newcastle did last season, basically they were playing without pressure. Nobody expected them to finish in the top 4. So navigating a season like that is quite easier than when expectations come. Now they are in the Champions League, not the Europa League, not the Conference League, but the Champions League, where the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona are all in there. So this is the first time they are going in there. The team hasn't experienced it before. The manager hasn't experienced it before. The fans have not experienced it in a while. And it is very difficult to balance these competitions because you are playing on a Sunday, you are playing on a Wednesday, and back on a Saturday. And all these competitions require your best teams. And if you don't have a squad large enough with a lot of quality, you would struggle. And a manager who is not experienced also. And I think that's where they are. And I feel they will struggle to balance these competitions.
Okay, so let's wrap up with the issues that may confront in the entire sector as we speak, because we know that elsewhere, some leagues are making attempts to bring on board more and more of their players. The stars are all moving elsewhere. Do you feel that would affect, the entire league?
I don't think so. In as much as, yes, players have left, players have also come in. They've been able to maintain the main superstars of the league. The guys we saw leave were not necessarily guys you see carry the Premier League. They were on their last legs. If you look at likes of Kante, likes of Henderson, Fabinho didn't have the best of seasons last season. Those guys have gone, yes, but you look at the players in the league as it stands, they are still superstars in there. The biggest stars are still in the league.
Let's look at some more predictions that we have coming through. Of course, this is for Muftar. Muftar indicating that he believes in Manchester City, Manchester United second, Arsenal, Chelsea, and then Liverpool. Then you have Newcastle also featuring on this list. Isaac?
I agree with Muftar because of where he puts Chelsea. I think we have the same arrangement almost, just that he feels that Manchester City is going to win the league. I feel that they will struggle this season a bit because they've lost some quality. But just like you're saying, the Premier League has almost bought the future of football. They have almost all the players currently in the league. They spend close to £2 billion. Even Saudi, that we are saying Saudi has spent, I'm not sure it's even close to £500 million. So the Premier League still have the power to command players to come in. First we did not used to see South Americans coming into the Premier League, but right now it looks as if it's the preferred destination. And they are commanding the future. They have all the young players in the older ones have left to Saudi and other places. So I don't think that the EPL is losing its value to any other.
Okay, more members of the team are predicting what they're on the lookout for. There's another Manchester United. Okay, well, I don't want to call him a supporter, but he believes in Manchester United. And this is from David Odro. David, who's also with the team here, joining us. Also predicting Arsenal coming second. Then we have City, Liverpool. Newcastle is just so consistent on everyone's list.
Yeah, but not even Newcastle. I'm wondering how people can. In what world is Man United finishing above Manchester City? It's surprising to me, very surprising. But yeah, opinions.
Like noses, everyone. Yeah, and then okay, so he has Tottenham Hotspurs also having featured on his list. Kweku Asante, our parliamentary correspondent, also has this to say about the league. Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspurs, and Newcastle United, and then Manchester United. I don't expect anything better from Kweku because he's not going to support Manchester United. I know.
In fact, he's an alien to this league. He supports Barca. He should be predicting about La Liga, and this is not his.
Okay, he's interested because, he needs to stake a bet and see if the 10% will apply on all of that. So we wrap up with one more one that's coming through. You have Gary Al Smith, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, City, United is back on the list again. Okay. So sad. Yes. Chelsea is number 6 on this list.
Well, man.
It's a sad day for Chelsea.
The frequency doesn't look good for us, but I'm happy that Manchester United is featuring in this, permutation.
Yeah, because you believe that Manchester United.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We all believe that, Daniel?
No, I don't.
Definitely. So thanks guys for joining us. That's all we have for you in this package of the polls. Blessed to go and log on to myjoyonline.com. More stories there for you.